everyone. Okay, so I thought I would come on another stream today. I did one in the morning, but I'm kind of testing out different time zones, I guess I would say, at this point. Like right now, I'm in India and it is 6:25 p.m. where I'm at. And today, the first live that I did, that was, I think, at around 11 a.m. my time. So I'm kind of testing out different time slots to see which one is more comfortable for all of you. I don't know what it's going to be, so we're testing out. What I'm also going to do for this particular live is I'm going to kind of pull a few tarot cards just for all of us, just for the collective. And if there are any orders or any registered questions in the link provided in the description box below, then I will pause our collective reading and then do that question and then come back to our collective reading. So I am going to be answering a few questions, mostly general questions, and I will be using the tarot for that. If you have a specific question that you would like to ask, you can absolutely do so. That is going to be there in the link provided in the description box below. All right, so all the details, everything, the instructions, the rules, everything is mentioned in the description box below. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do right now, I've actually got a list of questions prepared, and I thought I would just go one by one and see where that takes us. And of course, you are free to visit this live. Well, it's going to be recorded and then it's going to be put in the live tarot readings playlist on my YouTube channel. So you can, of course, revisit this. You can come back later as well, but there are going to be messages for the collective. I feel like I'm in the habit of looking at the camera, not the camera, sorry, the video that's playing of me. And so when I took a look at the stream that I did in the morning, it looks like I was not looking at the camera, but I was looking at the video of me. Well, we live and we learn. So I'm learning how to do this. So I'm going to do my best to keep looking at the camera. Maybe actually, you know what I'll do? I will get a sticky note and then I'll put it on top so that my attention goes right on top. Yeah, the things we do for our mind, the workarounds. Okay, hold on. I'm actually going to put this. And then I'm going to be like, yeah, please look at that. Thank you. That's just for me. That's just how my mind works. Yeah, that's better. And now I'm like, okay, there's a focus point. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I just closed the drawer. Okay. What I'm going to do is I have a few questions set for all of us. So I'm going to start pulling tarot cards for that. So I intuitively feel like I'm going to pull this deck. This one is Tarot of the Cosmic Seed. And of course, you are free to, comment. Yes, hello. And every now and then I'll keep looking at the comment section as well. Hold on, let me make this a little bit smaller so I can see the comment section because my list of questions was completely hiding the chat box. Now I know. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so we are going to do a collective reading, and if there are orders that want to come through, then we will pause. I'll get to the order, and then we'll come back to our collective reading. All right? Okay. So let me see. Okay. So the first question that I want to answer or I want to ask is, what does the collective need to remember about themselves right now? All right. So what do all of us, we need to remember about ourselves right now? Shiv Gauri 2898. I said your name. All right. So let's get into the first question. All right. So what does the collective need to remember about themselves right now? Okay. What does the collective need to remember about themselves right now? Does the collective need to remember about themselves right now? Okay. We have the moon. We have the lovers. Beautiful. And we have the sun. Okay. Hold on, a lot of major arcana. So looks like maybe that's why I was feeling the pull to do this reading, because I just did a live in the morning and I was like, are we going to do it again? But looks like Spirit was like, yes, we're going to do it again. Would you mind? And I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Okay, so let me get into channeling mode. And so what do we need to know about, or what do we need to remember about ourselves right now? Okay. So first off, it looks like we may be, and I'm including myself in this as well, it looks like we are kind of being faced with choices at this point in our lives. I think that maybe we are not sure whether to move forward, to hang on, to maybe reflect upon the past. I think that there is a lot of choices that are being played in our lives right now. Now, you may be confused, okay, well, which is the right option? Which one do I go? The message coming through is that you are putting too much pressure on yourself to have it all figured out, especially when we are thinking in terms of alignment or misalignment. Oftentimes, yes, it's understandable that we put ourselves we put unnecessary pressure on ourselves, like, oh my gosh, okay, if I'm not in alignment, then something bad is going to happen. But one thing that I have understood, and this is something that's coming to my mind at this point, is the GPS theory. And I love this. I love this because I think it's like kind of viral on Instagram. But the theory, the GPS theory, goes something like this: when you are, you kind of set a location in your maps, okay, and you take a wrong turn, let's say, for example, what happens? It doesn't berate you. It doesn't say, oh my gosh, you're going wrong, you are never going to reach your destination. No, it doesn't do any of that, right? What does it do? It just reroutes. That's it. It's the same destination. You are going to get there, probably take a little bit longer, probably learn a little bit of more lessons along the way, maybe more potholes, but it's a different route, but you're still going to get to the end point. So if you're still going to get to the end point, then why do we put that kind of pressure on ourselves to have everything figured out or to make the right decision every single time? So I feel like one of the messages coming for the collective is that you're putting way too much pressure on yourself to have everything figured out, to make sure that every step that you are taking is in alignment. Sometimes taking steps without knowing what is alignment, what is not. Sometimes you're not going to get that information, and that's okay as well. Sometimes you are meant to go through the path to recognize what was alignment and what wasn't alignment. So sometimes it's about the lived experience. So it's not about having everything figured out beforehand. It's about going through the experience and then recognizing, okay, I shouldn't have done that, but now we know. So we reroute, we recorrect our path, we align again. All right, so that is one big thing. I mean, we have three major arcanas coming out. So it looks like there is significant pressure at this point in time. Another message that's coming through with the moon is that you are not going to have the answers that you are looking for at this point in time, and that's okay. There's the sun coming out at the far right. So in my the energy coming to me is that whichever choice you make at this point in time, the lessons may play out differently in each of the routes, but they're meant to play out that way. And all of it is going to lead you to the destination that you're looking for, or it is going to lead you to the brighter, better outcome that you are intuitively being led within you. You are going to get to the end point, the sun. You are going to be feeling that joy, that happiness. You are going to unlock that for yourself. However, you're putting too much pressure on yourself to either choose one particular path, or you're putting too much pressure on yourself to be only in the alignment, only on an aligned path. But sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we don't know what is the aligned path. It's only after going through the process, which the moon coming up, sometimes that is the case. So don't be too hard on yourself. Maybe you are meant to make a choice without understanding if it is alignment or not. And maybe right now you're meant to understand that after you make the decision, the courage to make the decision, you've made that choice, you've put your foot forward, and then autocorrect or then continue in alignment. All right, so that is what the collective needs to remember about themselves at this point in time, I also feel like telling you that you've always figured things out. Up until now, every single thing that you found yourself stuck in, either you have understood where to seek help from, or you have unlocked a different version of yourself in order to achieve that particular outcome, or you have somehow managed to successfully get to the end point that you are looking at or you're looking towards. All right, so you've done that. 100% of your past struggles, of the past glitches, of the past potholes. We're talking about potholes. So, of the past, dips, the obstacles, you've been able to overcome it, right? So trust in yourself. You may not necessarily trust the path. You might not be able to trust the outcome. You might not even be able to trust anybody else, but you can trust yourself. You can trust yourself because you've constantly, time and again, given proof to yourself that you've been able to do it. You've been able to overcome. You've been able to get to wherever it is that you were always meant to go. Perhaps it's not the destination that you thought it would be, but you've always managed to come out of whatever it was that we were struggling, and you've always managed to get to a point where you were able to unlock something amazing for yourself. All right, so that is also one more thing that is coming through that you are meant to remember about yourself at this point. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the comments. My real name is Prithvi. Prithvi means earth. It means Mother Earth. So that is my real name. All right. Okay, so we have the first question sorted out. Let me get into another question. Hold on, let me look at my list and then we'll see which one to tackle. It's like tackling mode right now, but let's see which one to tackle. Okay, we'll take a look at this, okay? We'll see what limiting belief needs to be released. Let's take a look at that. And if you want a specific question answered, of course, the links are in the description box below. So we'll take a look at, for the collective, what limiting belief needs to be released, okay? Let's take a look at that. Oops, I need to keep reminding myself to look at the camera and not the video. It's it's a little bit difficult because I feel like the video is constantly moving, so my attention is toward that, but I need to keep reminding myself, camera. Okay, I'll do my best, okay? So what limiting belief needs to be released? Okay, let's get into that. If you want a specific question for your situation, you can definitely use the links in the description box below to register your question. But for the time being, I'm going to do collective readings, right? Just for all of us, just for whoever is watching. Okay. What limiting belief needs to be released? Let's get into that. I was about to say power one. Okay, just out of habit. All right. Okay, so now we have temperance. We have nurture of wands. We have the 8 of coins. Okay. Hold on, let me show it to you. Okay, we have temperance. Where's the camera? Okay. The mirroring thing confuses me sometimes. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. So we have coming out in the order temperance, nurture of wands, 8 of coins. Okay. What limiting belief needs to be released at this point in time? First off, you are powerful. You are extremely powerful. That is one of actually the major limiting beliefs that need to be released. You don't recognize your own power. You may be struggling at this point. Maybe you might be dealing with a problem that's bigger than what you've ever been through in the past. Maybe it is something that you are deeply or very emotionally invested in. So it feels like it's too big a mountain for you to climb at this point in time. But one of the biggest messages coming through is the limiting belief that needs to be released at this point in time is that you are absolutely capable of overcoming this obstacle, this difficult phase that you might be going through in a specific area of your life. All right, that message is coming through very, very strongly. Another message that's coming through is patience. All right, maybe you have been waiting on a certain outcome. Maybe you have been, patiently waiting, but now you're kind of like, where is it? What's happening? Why hasn't it come yet? I have been doing my waiting, and I just remembered Harry Potter. Like, I've done my waiting, 13 years of it. And sometimes, even though you've had faith, even though you've been really patient, what happens is you tend to have these moments where you doubt whether your belief is really worth it. You can start to doubt that maybe whatever it is that you're hoping for, maybe you start doubting whether it is coming from a place of pain, trauma, hurt. Maybe you start doubting of the intuitive guidance that you've been receiving. So whatever it is that you're doubting at this point in time, and it looks to be a little bit, maybe you're doubting whether this goal or this dream is meant to happen for you. Maybe you're doubting if that career path is for you. Maybe you're doubting if that relationship is truly meant to be in your life. Whatever it is that you are doubting right now at this point in time, it looks like you've held on for quite some time. It does look like that. However, what is being brought to your attention at this point in time is if you're fearing that maybe, okay, maybe what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, maybe it's just not meant to be, or I've been waiting so long and I don't really have proof of it in 3D, or I've been waiting so long and maybe I'm, working against myself, maybe I should let go. Whatever it is, there's some kind of limiting belief attached to that. When if you're feeling the pull or the deep frustration, like you're leaning towards letting go or giving up because of frustration, and the energy coming through is like frustration or resentment because you've held your faith on for too long. One of the messages coming through is you might want to take some time to reevaluate why you are letting go. Why are you feeling this way at this point in time? Because that may be coming from a place where either you don't believe that you are worthy of what you have been holding faith in for so long. Maybe you don't trust the divine guidance that's coming through. That's also coming from a place of limiting belief. Maybe you don't trust yourself to be able to unlock that for yourself. Maybe you're not able to trust your own intuition at this point in time, your own soul guidance as well. So there's definitely something that's stopping you, especially when we feel the need to let go, but it's coming from a place of frustration or anxiousness or lack of patience or agony, pain, anger, resentment, I'm not sure. Any of these, emotions, oftentimes it is misaligned. You are meant to let go. There will be peace within you. You will feel within you. That's how you know that letting go is alignment. I'm being called to, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. Right now, we'll talk about this right now. There's one thing that often, would it's kind of like my pet peeve, I think. But it would be like, oh, you should never give up, you should never let go. And there were all of these quotes on the internet at one point in time. And it used to frustrate me so much because sometimes you are meant to let go. Sometimes it is necessary for your own mental peace, emotional peace to let go. So at that point in time, I was constantly saying, oh, you never give up, or giving up is for the weak, or something of that sort. But no, sometimes there is immense, immense power in letting go. However, the energy, the intention behind why you're letting go, your mindset behind letting go, your intention behind letting go, that is very, very important. That is what constitutes whether it is alignment or misalignment. And that is something that I've noticed in my life as well. Moments where I've let go in frustration and I'm just said, no, I don't want this. This is too much pain. I don't want to deal with it. It's not for me. And then I would just let it go. Yeah, oftentimes that's misalignment. And then I go through a series of curves and obstacles and breaking of that resistance for me, that taught me how to hold on, how to come back on the wagon. And it was painful, of course. It was painful because letting go at that point in time was misalignment. I was meant to hold on. And there have been times where I've let go and I've felt that immediate peace, immediate relief. And so for me, that has become the compass of when I should let go, when it is in alignment. And that's when I will usually feel that peace and that relief coming through. But more often that peace, just that sense of, whew, okay, something feels right, something within me, deep within me, I can't really logically explain. It just feels right to be doing this. Those moments, I understand that, yes, letting go is in alignment, but there are moments where I've let go and something felt off. Something just felt like, no, it's not. No, that was misalignment. And moments like that, I recognize it, and then I get back on and say, okay, I'm meant to have a little bit more faith. Yes, my faith has been tested. Yes, I've been in this for so long, and I can't really see the end in sight, and it has been excruciating to hold on. But letting go is creating that resistance within me, which means I'm not meant to, at this point in time, I'm meant to hold on. I'm meant to go forward with that faith, and then I start working towards that faith. So that thought process is, and that entire thought process is coming to me. So at this point in time, you might be on the verge of letting go of something that maybe you are letting go with the misaligned energy or the misaligned intention. So it's not about the act of letting go per se, it's about the energy and the intention that you are in. So for some of you, it could be that you are meant to let go, but you are meant to align to the aligned intention and the aligned reason for why you're letting go. It shouldn't be done out of anger or pain or frustration. It should be done from a place of peace. So maybe you are meant to let go, but the energy and the intention behind it might need to be a little bit more aligned. That might be what is being called to your attention at this point in time. For some of you, I am getting that maybe you're not meant to let go. Maybe this is, a phase where you are meant to dig deeper into why you are supposed to hold on, maybe find reasons for yourself or allow yourself to go through the experiences, allow those experiences to reach you so that you get deeper reasons as to why you need to hold on, whether those are signs and synchronicities from the universe or that is your own intuitive guidance coming through stronger and stronger, allowing that to happen, allowing that peace to set within you so that you can hear your own, maybe your spirit guides coming through, your intuitive guidance, your higher self coming through as well. So it looks like there's supposed to be some period of reflection, some period of understanding what is the energy and the intention behind you feeling like you need to let go. Right? And whether letting go is alignment or misalignment at this point, that's the first question that you need to maybe take some time to ponder. But the second part of it is, even if you are meant to let go, then what is the energy? What is the intention behind you letting go? Right? That must be a little bit of tweaking, maybe a little bit of aligning over there. Right? And the final message is, yes, you're kind of in the middle of things. Yes, it is hard work. It's very interesting because I just had this conversation yesterday, and it's very interesting that's coming through, but it takes effort. It really, really takes effort to hold on to that faith, to recognize that there is immense power in trusting your intuitive guidance or trusting your higher self, trusting divine power, trusting your spirit guides. There is immense power in that. And that is work by itself. That is effort by itself. It's interesting because I was having this conversation with someone yesterday, and they looked at me and they said, well, you're not doing anything. You're not making any effort. And I said, who said? Who said I'm not making any effort? Just because it does not look like effort to you, or it's not the effort that you perceive I should be making, it doesn't mean that I'm not making effort. I am making effort that is in alignment. And sometimes that's more internal than it is external. And you might not be able to see, but I can see it. I can see the signs and synchronicities that are telling me that I'm on the aligned path. So do we discard the fact that just because it's internal, we shouldn't really consider it as effort? No, absolutely not. That's not something that I align with. I feel that even, having faith, working on yourself to constantly keep trusting your intuition, I really do believe that is hard work. I really do believe. I mean, me being in this field, and I would say I'm a spiritual worker. I do consider myself a spiritual worker. And there are these moments where I too, I'm constantly working with my intuition. There is a lot of effort there. There is hard work over there. I don't want to just say, oh, just because it's not physical work, it's not considered. No, I don't believe in that thought process. So that's what I was talking to someone yesterday about this. And I said, just because it's not effort that you perceive effort to be, doesn't mean I'm not putting in effort. I'm putting in effort in the way that I'm meant to, and I know it. And every time the effort is misaligned, I get my signs, I get my synchronicities, I get, you know, I get the reminder from, you know, the universe that, hey, a little bit of misalignment over there, get back on track. So that is hard work. That is absolute hard work. The rewiring of my limiting beliefs within me, the thought processes that are working against me, my own insecurities that sometimes come up to the surface, how I respond to things, all of that, I am constantly working on that. But just because someone else cannot see it does not mean it is not effort. And I feel like one big reminder that's coming through for you is it's important to recognize that as effort, right? Whatever work you are putting on yourself, even if it is building on your faith, building on your connection with your intuition, or reconnecting with your higher self, building a deeper bond with your higher self, all of that is work. Consider that as work. Maybe you're not thinking about that as work. You're not considering how much of effort goes into that. So might be time to reframe what you're thinking as hard work. Maybe you feel like, oh, I'm not doing anything, or whatever it is that I'm doing, it's more internal. Should I be doing something external? No, not necessarily. If you're not feeling called to, you don't have to force yourself to do external work. Sometimes the work is internal, and sometimes that is what is alignment for you, right? So I feel like the Eight of Coins coming through is telling you that even though the work seems to be more internal on your end with respect to whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're struggling with at this point in time, don't discredit it. No, don't. It's still hard work. It's still, it takes hard work to align, even if it is building a relationship with yourself, your higher self, your intuitive self, or your intuition, or your higher self. Did I say higher self? Yes, I did. Or your spirit guides, all right? So that is an important message that is coming through, all right? And yeah, there's power in that. There's immense power in that, just because it's not effort that someone else perceives effort to be, doesn't mean that it's not effort, right? Right? Okay, so then we will look at the next question that I have for you, and what shall we do? I have a list of questions over here. For those of you who are joining in right now, hi. I have decided to do just a live tarot reading. If you want specific questions asked, you can definitely choose the links in the description box below to register your question. But otherwise, I'm just going to be doing a live tarot reading for the collective, and I have a few questions over here, and we're just going to do that. But I just got an order, so we'll pause for a little bit, and then we will see. We have the one card pull coming up. Hold on. This is my phone over here in case you're like watching me do this. We have a koi, and okay, we have the one card pull. And one thing that I want to say is I will not be saying your person's name live. I will always say either the name that you've put. It can be your name, it can be the nickname, as long as you feel like, yes, that is the name that I associate myself with. The message will come through for you. Don't worry about that. But I will not be saying your person's name just for privacy reasons. I don't want to do that. So we'll be saying the name that you input in the box, and you feel free to put a nickname if you want privacy. And all right, so we have the first question for this live. We have a one card pull, and we have from Koi. All right, hi Koi. All right, so let's go. Is there a future for me and the person I have in mind? Nurturer of Swords. All right, I feel, okay, so let me go over this answer. When there is peace and calmness within you, you've resolved all the perhaps resentment, anger, perhaps even sharp thoughts that you may have against your person, against some of the actions that they've taken. The answer is yes. But until that point, you may actually be blocking the two of you from the opportunity of having a future with the person that you have in mind. So it looks like there may be some things that your person has done in the past. Maybe it could be your person, but it could be your past relationships as well. It seems to be a little bit more mental in terms of like maybe overthinking. Maybe you might be using past experiences to project onto what your person is doing at this point in time, what they are or how they are showing up in your connection. So I feel like there may be a block on your end with respect to how you are showing up, and it's more of the mental energy. But the moment you work on that, the moment you are just a little bit cognizant of that, it looks like, yes, there seems to be a future. All right. But just a little bit that your own mind might get in the way of the two of you. That seems to be a very clear answer that's coming through. So I guess I would say, yes, there is a future, but you may have to kind of get out of your own way in terms of maybe your own limiting beliefs, your own thought processes, your own narratives of the situation, or how your person is behaving. The more you can step out of that energy, it looks like the answer is yes. All right. Okay. So that is the answer that came through. Alrighty. Okay, and then we have, so I'm just looking at the chat box right now. Any questions that you have, it will have to be through the link in the description box below. All right, you're very welcome. All right. Okay, so now I don't have any in the order right now. So what we're gonna do is we are going to just maybe take another question, all right? And then I'll see, depending on how much energy I have, we'll keep going. And then once I feel like, okay, I'm kind of, not, no, kind of need to stop, then we will stop, all right? So right now, let me see. Okay, let me see. All right, I think this question is interesting. Let's take a look at what lesson is currently unfolding, all right? So let's take a look at what lesson is currently unfolding for the collective at this point in time. And if you are here, trust that maybe there is a message here for you. All right, okay. And if you want to ask a specific question, you can absolutely do so. The link is there in the description box below. All right, I am only taking questions in the description box, like through the links in the description box below. Okay. Now, what lesson is currently unfolding? Okay, that's the one we decided to do, right? Yeah, that's one. Sorry, a little bit of my mind going somewhere. Okay, what lesson is currently unfolding? We'll get into that. Okay, 3 cards. You have 7 of coins, 6 of swords, nurture of coins. All right, so I feel like we are kind of on the same theme. So it looks like the collective might be going through something at this point in time, might be going through, I would say you are coming out of a difficult phase, but maybe at this point in time, because we have the 6 of swords, you might not recognize that you are actually coming out of it. Maybe you are not able to see the rainbow at the end or the light at the end of the tunnel, but the message coming through is actually very clear that you are actually coming out of the tunnel. It might not look like it at this point in time, and for some of you, I am getting 7 of coins along with the nurture of coins. So sometimes, and I've seen this pattern occur a lot actually. So sometimes when you are closer, like you've learned your lesson, like difficult phase, extremely tough, big lessons, we've learned it, all right? And we're like, okay, when is it gonna happen? When are we gonna kind of come out of this energy? When are we going to feel better about ourselves, feel better about life, so on and so forth? It happens, right? So once we are closer to the end of that cycle and we're actually slowly coming out of it, I've seen this pattern occur multiple times. We often go through a dip just before we come out of it. And before, I think that I used to hear people say that this is the final test, but I don't necessarily align with that thought process. Okay, for me, first off, I hated tests while growing up. It's just no, okay. I did not like it. Every time I would hear the test, I would freeze. It was just not the best relationship that I had with tests. All right. So for me, the way that I perceive it is whatever you have learned in your difficult phase, right? Whatever lessons were playing out for you, whatever work that you've done, this dip, the final dip that happens, and it often does, you'll be kind of pushed back to where you started at just before the difficult phase. It will feel like you've been pushed back to the starting point, to maybe I would say ground level zero. But I feel, instead of thinking of it as a test, I like to think of it as an opportunity for me to kind of ground the lessons that I have learned in or through this difficult phase. And so in that dip, it's often about recognizing that, okay, if there is this moment that I've actually done significant progress and I've gone through this difficult time and I've learned my lessons, I've done diligent work, sorry, and suddenly I'm back at step zero, I take it as a sign that I'm coming out of this phase. I take it as a sign that, woo, yes, awesome. I'm being given an opportunity to embed, I guess I would say, the lessons that I've learned to stabilize in the energy of this new version of me, or this raised frequency version of me through the lessons that I've learned. So it's an opportunity for me to go through all the lessons, but kind of show that, yes, I've learned it, I've stabilized in this energy, I'm doing awesome. And every time I have successfully been in this mindset, and every time I have kind of put in the lessons that I've learned and I put it into practice in this dip, I've come out of it and it has been like a substantial success out of it. So I recognize this pattern multiple times in my life. Every time I've been through a very difficult phase and I feel like I'm coming out of it, I get dragged right back to ground zero. And I think there have been moments where I would feel really defeated. I'll go even more. I'll be like, I just put in so much hard work to get out of it. Why am I at step zero? But what I've come to realize is the more I'm like, okay, yes, I'm at step zero, but that's a sign that I'm coming out of this. I feel that I not only come out of it, but the success, what I unlock for myself, the timeline that I unlock for myself, it's just unparalleled. It's just unparalleled. All right. So you might be at that point, my dear collective. You might be at that point where you've put in the hard work. You have, right? But maybe you're at that final dip before things skyrocket, and that sometimes does happen. And like I said, not sometimes. I think that it has happened time and again, especially after a difficult phase. So it's not that all the hard work you've put in this difficult phase is just vanished or poof, it's gone. No, it's not that. It's just that you are being given an opportunity to ground in the energy, to ground in this new version of you, this version of you that's learned the lesson, and to stabilize in that frequency so that you can unlock what is meant for you, what is meant for you to be experiencing at that frequency, right? So if you've been going through your difficult phase and then you finally find yourself at step zero, recognize that that is actually a sign you're coming out of it. It's the final dip before you unlock that new timeline for yourself. You're getting out of it, right? So what lesson is currently unfolding? The lesson that's currently unfolding is, even if it feels like you're being dragged back to step zero, or you're being dragged back to where you started out, it doesn't take away from the lessons that you've learned. It doesn't take away the growth that you've had. In fact, it's a signal that you have grown and you're being given an opportunity to do the lesson with, or go through that phase with the lessons that you've learned. All right. And that's a sign that you're actually coming out of it. So the darkness that you are experiencing, the drag back to step zero, is actually a sign that you're coming out of the difficult phase. And that's the lesson that's playing out for you. So don't be disheartened by the dragging back. I know that I have been multiple times in my life. Like every time I've been dragged back after I felt like, okay, I think I'm out of it, and then dragged back. Yeah. It's very disheartening. It's like, oh, like someone just like kind of pulled my heart out of my soul. Yes, absolutely. It is understandable. It is, painful to also experience it as well. But when you feel that drag back, just recognize that as it's the final dip before you unlock, and how you deal with that dip, in like, it's kind of like encompassing all the lessons that you learned. stabilizing in the frequency. How you deal with that dip is how you unlock the frequency of the new timeline that you've actually gone through the difficult phase to unlock for, right? So that is the answer to the question. All right, so what that we finished, right? What lesson is currently unfolding? That was the answer to the question. I'm not taking any questions right now in the chat. If you want to ask a specific question, then you will have to click the link in the description box below. But otherwise, I'm just going to be doing a collective reading. But if you want to ask a specific question, absolutely you can, but that's through the link only, right? Okay, then I think I will go for one final question for today's live. We'll see, all right, we'll see. I think that I do have the energy for at least one more. We'll see after this, all right? So I'm going to use the same deck. I feel like using the same deck. So let me take a look at my list of questions and I like this question. So we'll go with, what does your future self want you to know? I think that's an interesting question. I need to keep reminding myself to keep looking at the dot above and not me moving and doing my gestures over here. But yeah, the sticky note's not really helping very much. All right, so what was the question? Yes, so what does your future self want you to know? Let's actually get that, because I feel like there's a version of you that has successfully and happily as well and peacefully come out of the phase that you are in. So we'll kind of get a message from your future self, all right? What does your future self want you to know? What does your future self want you to know? Ten of Wands, Hermit, Messenger of Coins. For some of you, this could be related to your finances that's coming through very strongly, but for others of you, it could be something that you have not felt stable in. Maybe it has been too up in the air. You don't really know what's going on. You're a little bit confused. But right now, everything is at a standstill, and that energy is coming through very, very strongly. You are at a standstill, but there is a reason for the standstill. There is a necessary pause. You are meant to be learning quite a few lessons. We have the Hermit coming out. So there are lessons that are playing out right now. You are meant to learn that. However, one of the messages that is also coming through is you are going to unlock a version of yourself that is not only that has not only kind of learned the lessons, but you're also living life. You're also enjoying life. You're also kind of finding that joy and fulfillment in what you are doing as well. So it's not just, oh, I learned the lesson and I'm going to be sober, and I'm going to be like sober as in, I mean, like sad or no expressionless or nothing. You're actually going to be unlocking a version of yourself where not only have you learned the lesson, but you're also enjoying, you're also having fun, you're also enjoying the fruits of your labor, your hard work. That is a version of you that you are unlocking. And it looks like this is a future version of you. Your future self is telling you that we are going to be this person. It's happening. But right now, certain things, you're understanding certain things, and you're kind of creating deeper understanding of the lessons that are playing out. These are still lessons that we have decided we would learn in this lifetime, and it is playing out at this point. Yes, it is hard because we do have the Ten of Wands. Yes, it is hard. It is understandable that you are in pain. Yes, it is heavy, but one message that's coming through is before we incarnated, or that's the message that's coming through from your future self. So before we incarnated, we saw how our entire life would play out, right? And we still chose this life because we felt that there will be something at the end where we say, yes, it was worth it. It was worth this struggle that I went through. And I feel like your future self is coming through to remind you that, yes, we felt it. We've seen this unfold before we reincarnated in this lifetime, and we felt it was worth it. Whatever this difficult phase that you're going through, we felt it was worth it because it is. And we're unlocking that future for ourselves, right? It is heavy now. It's understandable. Things are a little bit heavy right now, but these are so lessons that we agreed to understand, to live through, to experience, to maybe grow through as well. And that is playing out at this point in time so that we can unlock the future that we decided was going to be worth it, right? It might not look like it at this point in time, my collective. It might not look like it, but this is a message coming through from your future self that it is going to be worth it. It is going to be beyond what you imagine. It is going to be, I feel like our conscious mind cannot perceive how amazing things can actually go for us, how the route to wherever we're meant to, how that can happen, how fulfilling it can be. I think that our conscious mind can't perceive that sometimes. And so one of the messages that is coming through is you are going to be unlocking the future that you feel in your soul. If you've been feeling it in your soul, you are not wrong. That is your future self coming through, telling you you are actually tapping into that future timeline. Yes, there is a little bit of a delay. Yes, the delay can be frustrating at times. The delay can make you feel like, when is it going to come? Am I being delulu for feeling this way? Am I, kidding myself? Yes, that delay does have a tendency to do that to us, doesn't it? But trust that if you're feeling it, it is, part of your soul's path to get to that point. And I feel like this is your future self reminding you that, hey, we saw all of this. We saw all the struggles that we were going to go through. We handpicked our soul lessons and said, we're going to go through that. We're going to go through that. And then we decided upon a timeline that made sense to us, that made us feel like, yes, it's all worth it. Whatever we went through, it's all worth it. And we needed to go through that difficult phase, those lessons, in order to unlock that timeline. So there is a little bit of a timeline jump that is happening with you. But with timeline jumps, as much as jumping sounds exciting and fun, it's quite hard. Not just hard, it's the jump. First off, it takes courage. Second, it's a frequency that you have to unlock, and it is hard work. If it is something that is meant for you to unlock within you in this lifetime, there will be a certain flow to it, unless of course you step in and you resist, because you also have free will that plays into picture. But there will be that effortlessness to it. Hard work, yes, but there will be that peace and effortless as you move towards that, right? So I feel like one last message that's coming through from your future self is use that as a compass, the effortlessness. Not everything, or I guess I would say whatever is meant for you, it will be effortless. Yes, it will be hard work. Yes, there will be pain sometimes. Yes, sometimes, it's going to go through its obstacles, but it will be effortless. All right. There is that alignment that will happen along that path. And your future self might be telling you, use as your compass, anything that feels like an uphill battle, frustration, constant blocks, block. Either it's not meant for you to deal with right now, or you're not dealing with it in the aligned way. So use peace as your compass, use joy, use happiness as your compass, because that you are meant to unlock. That's the message that is coming through. And what I will do is I will get one more final, hold on, it says my connection is unstable. But I'm thinking I will get one last question, all right? Just maybe, let me see. Yeah, I think we're back online. I think we kind of skipped briefly. But what I will do right now is maybe I'll just get a final message, right, before I wrap up this reading. Right? Message for all of us. So that means for those of you who want to ask your personal question, you can absolutely do so, but I will be closing that very soon. Right after this question, if this live will be over, we will not be taking any more questions, all right? So if you have any final questions, any personal questions, you can absolutely do so in the link, but I am now going to do a final reading, final question for all of us. What do we need to know right now, or any message or advice that wants to come through? I'm just gonna keep it a little bit open-ended, all right? So any advice or message that wants to come through, we'll keep that. I'm also going to get an oracle card as well. I feel like we're going to get that as well. Final message, final advice coming through for my collective, please. Oh, this one wanted to come up. We have Judgment coming up. I'm hearing it will all make sense. 8 of Cups, Sacred Masculine, 2 of Wands, Judgment, and I also feel like getting 1 Oracle card, so we're gonna get that as well for all of us. What do we need to know right now? Any message, any advice? Final one coming through. This is the final question as well, Thinker. Okay, so right now it's a little bit of a pause, what's happening right now, but the pause is necessary. You are, consciously or intentionally or not, you are letting go of what cannot support you in the next phase of your journey. You are kind of walking away from maybe limiting beliefs that are working against you. You are walking away from perhaps certain things that maybe relationships, could be karmic contracts. You seem to be walking away from certain things that may not have been able to, I guess, contribute. It would not have been alignment for the next phase that you are stepping into, and you are. We do have the 2 of Wands, so there's a little bit of a wait for your ships to come through, but your ships are coming through, right? Yeah, I apologize if I keep looking at the camera. I know, I mean, not looking at the camera, but I'm learning. I will be patient with myself and kind to myself as I learn how to do that. It will take me a few lives, I'm pretty sure, all right? But I'll try. I'll do my best, okay? But one message that's coming through is your ships are coming, right? Don't worry about it. Your ships are coming. But yes, a little bit of a wait. The energy that you are in right now, right? Try to maybe align it with trust, with recognition that it's just time, because what I feel in my soul, it is meant for me to experience in this lifetime. We have Judgment coming up, so everything will make sense. Even the pause, even this phase where it doesn't feel like anything's doing anything, like maybe nothing in 3D is happening, everything seems to be the complete opposite, or it just seems like it's a standstill. There are forces working beyond your understanding for you in order for you to step into the next phase. There are things that are shifting for you in order for the next phase, for this phase that you are stepping into. It is happening for you. The more you think about it, the more you ponder why, when, how, the more you're going to be working against yourself. However, if you just stand in your energy and you just recognize that it is going to come, I know it is going to come, I trust what I feel within me, and I'm going to be grounded in my energy. I am going to feel that peace within me as someone who trusts myself, trusts my spirit guide team, trusts divine power, trusts my intuitive self or my higher self, whichever it is. The more you can stabilize in this energy, the more you'll recognize, or the more, I guess I would say, the more powerful it will hit you about why things had to happen the way that it did. So the answers are coming, like how or why there was this pause, why you had to go through what you went through. All of that information is coming to you. You will get the answers that you're looking for. It will be quite big, and frankly, it will absolutely blow your mind. That is the message that's coming through. But in the meantime, how to be aligned is to stay grounded in energy, to trust what you feel within you, and to I guess I would say, the more you can trust, the more, and I was called to correct that, the more you can trust yourself, the more you'll feel calm as you embody the energy of the version of you that is meant to unlock the next phase of your life. That is the final message that's coming through. So it's going to happen, but the energy that you're in, that also matters, all right? So the answers you are looking for, questioning maybe at this point in time, because we do have thinkers, so I'm pretty sure that you are thinking a lot about it as well. But the answers are coming, and it will come to you when you're not thinking about it. Oftentimes, that's what happens, right? So it will come to you when you're not thinking about it, but when you are in the energy of trusting, when you are in the energy of becoming, when you are in the energy of embodying, right? So might be overthinking a little bit. I would say, There are two ways to go about this. One way is if you're kind of feeling like you're overthinking, then just allow your mind to free, just allow it to think till you exhaust all your thoughts. Another way that you can go about it, but not forcing yourself, of course, but try to redirect your thoughts. Or if you are asking why, how, then maybe you can tell yourself, okay, well, my future self will have that figured out. Or maybe you can ask, but I don't think you will get answers at this point just because we have judgment coming up. So I don't think you're going to get answers at this point, but there's a reason why those answers are being hidden from you at this point in time. All right. So you will get your answers. Don't worry. All right. You will get your answers, but a little bit of a wait. All right. That is the final message that is coming through to you. I would say embody the energy of becoming, embody the trust that you feel. Make sure that and not make sure, but try to hold on to that energy, especially when things around you or in 3D don't feel like it or don't seem like it. There are forces beyond your control, forces beyond your understanding that are shifting things for you so that you can step into the next phase of your life with ease, with effortlessness, with alignment, and you will be able to sustain that energy as well. So your shifts are coming. It's just a matter of time. All right. So don't be in the thinking energy. Just be in the being energy. Just trust that it's coming. That figured out right now. All right. Okay. So that was the final question for today's live, and I'm just packing up at this point info as well. And I am, oh wait, my connection is unstable. Hold on. Yep, we're back. Okay. So, and one more thing that I want to say is I will be doing more lives, right? I will be doing more lives where we'll kind of tap into what the collective is going through. And of course, there will be space for you to ask your personal questions as well. As always, in the description box below, you will be able to find that. But overall, let me know your thoughts. Definitely, I do read every single comment, by the way. And so definitely let me know your thoughts about this particular live, about this particular style. I'm trying something new. I would love your feedback. I mean, I'm co-creating with you at the end of the day, right? Whether it is my the relationship videos that I do, or even these lives as well. So I would love to hear your thoughts about it. I would love to maybe understand what, how we can do this together. If there are any time zones or like time slots that you want me to show up, I'll do my best. Of course, I need to take care of my energy, my health as well. But I'll do my best to kind of accommodate. Please definitely let me know. I'll keep trying different time slots for a while and see which one's working, or maybe I might actually just do random ones so that I'm able to cater to everyone around. My best. I'll do my best. All right. So yeah, that's about it. And yeah, I wish you well. Please take care and trust your intuition. You always have free will. I'll catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.